Welcome everyone to the live stream today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us. We have some really cool things that we're going to show you today. We're going to be talking about artificial intelligence. Now, I'm not talking about Terminator or any of that kind of stuff, although there's some people that are a little freaked out about that. We're going to be talking about how to use AI in your business practice. Now, before we get going, if there's any comments that you have or questions, please put them in the comments area on whatever platform you're on. We are streaming on multiple platforms, so whatever platform you're using, wherever the comments area is, go ahead and pop those in. I just want to make sure I've got my comments area there. Oh, perfect. And so we're going to be going through a bunch of stuff with AI today. It is a really big thing, and there's lots of different applications that you can use. So let's go through the agenda today, and just a few things that we want to kind of talk about as we're going through. We're going to talk about the introduction to AI. We're going to talk about use cases of it. We're going to be talking about those using it in business specifically, because there's a lot of areas that you could use it. You, as a business owner or someone that's in the business space, may not use some of these things, but you may use parts of them. We're going to be talking about content creation, and that's a pretty broad one when you talk about content creation. We're going to be talking about doing research using AI. And we're going to be talking about transcription. Now, transcription is an interesting one where it can actually take speech to text or the other way around. But we're going to be talking specifically about speech to text. And then we're going to be talking about, I threw this one in at the end because it's about slide decks. Sometimes we do slide decks, and it's amazing some of the things that you can do creating slides, PowerPoint slides, that sort of thing, using artificial intelligence. So we've got Jared is with me today. Hey, Jared, how's it going?
It's going good. Thanks, Gary.
So Jared actually has spent a lot of time. I tasked him to do a bunch of research on artificial intelligence, and oh my gosh, it's everywhere. Like, for an example, we may think, oh, I haven't used AI. Well, if you've used Google, what is it called there, Jared? The Google Google Assist, or Siri on your phone.
Siri or Alexa.
Yeah, that's artificial intelligence. It's taking your voice, turning it into a search parameter, and going out onto the internet and finding what you want. Or in Siri's case, booking an appointment or those sorts of things. So most of us have been using it to a certain degree, but now we can actually lean this into how we want to use it as an assistant, if you will, to help us to do other things. Jared, maybe you want to talk about a little bit some of the statistics that you found as you were doing your research on AI.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff coming from AI in terms of statistics and different stuff that they're basically using as their prompt, or it's basically a transformative field that's been growing and growing exponentially over time, which is kind of cool. So they predict about 35% of businesses have adopted AI already, which is kind of a cool thing. It's already starting to become a big thing that's adopted. That's sort of by a few sources, Forbes and some other sources, IBM also. Some other cool things. Most of the content creation is being used by people in the content creation. About 85% of AI users do it for content creation, so for writing, for creating videos, for social media, that type of stuff. So a lot of it's being used that way. About 50% of consumers are optimistic about AI. So there's some concerns, but AI is growing everywhere. They're using it for self-driving machines is a new one. They're using it in the medical field. They've been using it in the financial industry for a long time to predict large data sets, to predict trends, and if it's going to go up, going to go down. But now it's sort of exploding more into sort of everyday person using it for whether it's emails, whether it's social media posts, whether it's creating a video, whether it's creating a website, whether it's tweaking what your writing is for a post or for an article. It can all be used. A big part of using sort of the creation AI is a good way to get you started, and then you can edit it yourself because there's so much stuff out there. Unfortunately, a lot of the AI will replace a little bit of jobs, unfortunately, but they'll still need people to use it. But you can do a lot of stuff yourself now because of AI and not need an expert in certain things like graphic design or other things, or social media expert.
It's interesting. I was looking at one of the things we're going to talk about today and show you is GPT chat, which is OpenAI. And probably most people have messed around with that a little bit. It's got to the point now in there where you can actually, with a little bit of programming, using different types of code, you can actually program this to go into another application. So, for an example, we use the CRM system. There's the ability now, you can see maybe just in the corner here, you can see a little bit of Iron Man hat there. Jarvis from the movie, if you've ever watched Marvel Iron Man, Jarvis is his AI that talks to him. And there's someone who actually did a little bit of code in, I think it was Python, did a little bit of code with GPT chat, and he actually replicated Jarvis where it would actually talk back and forth and actually do tasks. So not too far in the future, we're going to see where I could open up Act and say, hey, Jarvis, book an appointment with Scott Kellett and for Tuesday, November or whatever, and it's going to be about this. And Jarvis will go, okay, Gary, I'll make sure we take care of that right away. That's not sci-fi anymore. This is real life. And so it's an amazing thing to see where things are going. Okay, Scott's got this. Scott said, where are the Christmas lights, Gary? That's next week. Next week, Scott. I got the Christmas lights next week. I was going to put them up this week, but I thought, hey, we'll wait till some people wait till December to do it. Others do it a little bit sooner. I was going to do it sooner, didn't have time. Anyways, so let's get into showing you some of the AI stuff, because I think this is really what you want to see in some of the applications where we can go with this. So I'm going to be in browser. A lot of the AI likes using Chrome. We'll be putting up the Chrome browser in a second here, but I'm just using Safari here. I'm on my Mac. You can use whatever browser you want. But let's just go up here to, I've got some digital ones. So in content creation, there's a bunch of different things. So there's GPT chat, does a lot of the text-based stuff, research, and a lot of the engines out there, correct me if I'm wrong, Jared, a lot of the engines out there or programs out there are using GPT chat as the engine, or DALL-E, which is the one of the components that does design pictures, any kind of graphics, that sort of stuff it can do for you, and we'll show you that. But there's other ones that can do stuff like Midjourney, for an example, does really incredible photos that look realistic. GPT chat isn't at that, or DALL-E isn't at that level yet, but it's getting close. And it's just amazing some of the stuff that's out there. GPT chat is free. Some of them are cost, like Midjourney, for an example. You have to go on Discord to be able to access it, and it's about $10 a month. So let's just go down. We're going to look, first of all, before we go into GPT chat, let's go to something like Canva. Now, Canva is using GPT chat in the background of it, and it has a component in here. Now, there's a free version of Canva. It works great, but it doesn't have the artificial intelligence. So if you're going to use Canva for any design work, doing thumbnails, doing posts, graphics, videos, all that sort of stuff, you're going to want to use the paid version, which will bring you into what they call Magic Studio. Magic Studio, sorry, go ahead, Jared.
I was going to say, a nice thing about Canva too, you can get your first month free. You can trial it for a month, see if you like it, see if you use it enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and it
true.
just links to all the different things. You can create so much stuff and share it with different people to view it, to see if they like it. So it's a very expansive program that covers a lot, almost all the creation type of stuff you might need to use for your business, for your website, for your social media,
Yeah.
for your brand, all sorts of that type of stuff. It's pretty
Yeah,
nice.
I've used Canva a lot in the beginning. I use other applications just because I have the time and I've had the experience. But for an example, in here you can do text to video, which means you can actually articulate. They call them prompts. So when you're using AI, you have to give it prompts. So design this that looks like this, and the more specific you are, the better result you're going to actually get. So for an example, text to video, text to image. So if you want to create an image, which we will show you in GPT chat, you can do magic morphing where you can take text and morph it, animation, switching. I'm not sure what that is. I've never used that part of it. So that's Canva. Canva is a really good tool for any kind of design work. Highly recommend maybe messing around with that a bit. The other one we have is CapCut. Now, CapCut is free. And Jared, maybe you've used CapCut a lot. Maybe you can kind of talk about what CapCut is.
Yeah, it's similar to Canva in the sense that it's highly made for content creation, and so it pools a lot of different resources for that. It also you can use it to make videos for your social media. A lot of CapCut is more designed for your mobile to help do creation on your mobile, but both Canva and CapCut have not only a mobile application, they got a desktop application, or you can work with it on the web. And then you can just save it sort of on the web or other places that you are working on it. And it's pretty cool that way. There's also kind of a nice thing for both Canva and CapCut here. They're templates. So if you don't know kind of where to start for some stuff, let's say you're trying to make a social media post, you can click on a template. And the template you can look under for different varieties. It can be for Christmas. It can be for a product. It can be for all sorts of different stuff. And that template will kind of help you get started. And then you can edit in kind of the stuff you need as you go with that, which is kind of cool. It also has a lot of different video features. So you can create like a video, text to video. You can write out a whole prompt thing and then it'll create a video for you and use AI as a voice in the background. This was something that I did just to mess around to see what it could do. I imported some images and then I had AI create a video.
And it didn't take you long to do this, did it, Jared?
No, it took me like a couple hours, and a lot of it was just editing to make it look a little bit nicer at the end. But
so let me run this.
A little welcome video to our website, which was kind of cool with CapCut.
And let me and what I'll do here, I'm not sure if the audio will come through, but let's give it a shot. We won't go through the whole thing. It's about 1:56, so we'll just go a little bit here, but you'll see how this works.
Welcome to our website. At CoreLogix, we specialize in providing tailor-made CRM solutions using the powerful ACT. Our goal is to empower you with a CRM system that meets your specific requirements and operates precisely the way you envision. Are you looking for a solution that will streamline?
I don't know how that was pretty loud. Could you hear that, Jared? Oh, now I can't hear you. Hang on. This thing was so crazy.
I had myself muted. Sorry, I had myself muted. Yeah, I could hear it good. I could hear it good. It was a little, the quality wasn't great, but you could definitely hear it.
But it was actually kind of cool to actually for you to create that and go, oh, I mean, it definitely wasn't the quality we would want to use, but it actually gave you a good footprint to start from and go from there. So that was kind of cool. So the two that I would recommend is CapCut and the Canva for the first two. We're going to get in some other stuff, but I'm going to go to ChatGPT now, and we're going to show you. And for those of you who haven't used ChatGPT, you can sign up. It's OpenAI and OpenAI.com, and then you you can set up your own account, a free account. When you have the free account, you'll be using GPT 3.5. That's the free version, and it actually works really well. I opted to do the paid version, which gives me access to Dolly and a bunch of other applications that I can use in there. And the way that you use this is more interactive, especially for the text, and you'll see how this works shortly. And this one works amazingly well. I'll show you a few little things that I've actually created, and then we'll actually create some stuff here. So first of all, I had this emoji with this hat. So first of all, I said create an emoji wearing a Santa hat, and so it did one, and then I said, okay, give it some arms and hands, and so it was gave me some different ones that I could actually use. I did a sales photo. Now here's where I asked it to do a photograph, a realistic photo of a businessman and woman in their mid-20s discussing sales stats. And it's not bad, but it's not as photorealistic as something like Midjourney. Midjourney is a lot more detail-oriented and making it look more like a photo. However, Midjourney, you have to use a different format to get into there. You need to use Discord. It's a little more complicated to use, but it still works with the idea of using prompts. Here's a modern background, a business background. So if you wanted to have a background and put some text in front of it, that sort of stuff, and you just download all of this information. So I'm going to just show you, we're going to do a new one here. And so let's start something simple. We're going to do, what was that one I suggested, Jared? We'd do a job description.
Yeah, we want to do a job description for an executive assistant for a commercial real estate company.
All right, so let me just dictate. Let me just dictate that in there. Can you help me create a job description, please? Now this may be a little bit slower, just because we're doing a little bit of
now, so it takes up some of the
the
computer power and bandwidth.
Sorry, I had the fan going. All right, so can you create a job description for an executive assistant working in a commercial real estate firm? So this is going to lay out the whole structure here for it, and basically it just goes and researches a bunch of things that it can find on the web, pull it up, and create a whole job description for you. Obviously, that you're gonna have to tweak it. I've done web pages where I've actually done a full web page, and maybe 10% of that I had to make some adjustments. But for the most part, you can see in here, benefits and compensation, work environment, preferred qualifications, required qualifications, key responsibilities, job description overview, company overview. It's pretty amazing that this can do something like that. Let's do another one. Create a graph showing the gold prices over the last 2 years. So now what this is going to do is it's going to create an image, and so it analyzes what I asked it to do. It's going to go out and find what the gold prices have been over the last 2 years, and then it's going to give me a graph of how that works. And so you can take this image, pop it into a presentation, or use it wherever you want. And so here comes the image now. And so there's the gold prices over the last 2 years. You can see the jumping up and down, and you can actually just download this right over, where is it here? Up on the top right-hand corner here. You can download that right up here in the corner there. And so you can see here how this all works. This graph here, it's got it pretty nailed down of what you wanted to see here. I'm just going to change my icon. But this is quite amazing. I mean, you want to do some research on just about anything, this will go and find the information for you. let's see here. Uh,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. A lot of these AI too, you can input like a CSV file. So if you had like an Excel spreadsheet of different figures and stuff, you could plug that in and it would make you a graph. Like you can do that in Canva and
yeah,
other things like that. So it can make a personalized graph, or you can ask ChatGPT to make just something with whatever the current information that it has, online, for a statistic, for example. But it can do personalized stuff too. You just got to kind of give it an input or the CSV
right.
file for it to create a graph for you, which is cool.
So let me show you how you could do a blog post in here really quick. Can you please create a blog post describing the benefits of using virtual desktop infrastructure, or VDI? So you'll notice this is very brief. I can put more prompts and be more specific. And all you do is you put a comma after it and add as many prompts as you want. So the more detailed you are in your prompts, the better that you're going to get the result. So let's just see. Absolutely. And so here's a blog post. It's actually creating the blog post. Obviously, you have to read it and go through it and make any adjustments or changes. But look what this is doing for you. This is this is just amazing. And I've been using this since I think it was January of this year, so the beginning of 2023. I've been using this for all sorts of different things. But isn't this amazing? And then what you can do is once this has done this, can you make this a little bit lighter? Which means make it a little bit more fun. So watch how it'll change the text now, and it will actually use words that are a little bit more like you're having a conversation. Instead of being very sterile kind of a conversation, it's more of a hey, how you doing kind of a conversation. And you can see here, keep data locked up. This is just it saves money. Look at all the different things. Work from a cafe, your couch, or even while you travel. I mean, it just uses a little bit different words to be able to describe that. And you can keep changing and adding other prompts to this in order to delineate this down or change things how you want it. So it's really quite amazing on how this works. Now I'm going to do an image now, and then we're going to make a few changes to the image just so you can see how that works. So let me do another one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool what it can do. It saves you a lot of time, right?
Oh,
'Cause it might not be perfect, but if you want to do a job description, it'll lay it all out for you, and then you can tweak it as you go. So it just makes things more efficient for you and gets you started.
right.
And then it's kind of nice where you can rewrite it like you did in ChatGPT, and it has that with other AI writing tools and different applications where you can rewrite something to sound better. So let's say you're not like an expert writer or editor, it can kind of edit it for you, and you can tweak it. So it helps get you going, get you started with a lot of different projects that you have going. It won't completely replace things, but it can definitely give you a very solid layout of what you want to do, and then you can tweak it and personalize it to how you want it. And there you go.
All right, so let me dictate this in here. Can you please create a realistic image of a salesperson talking to a customer about their product and services? So what I want to do is I want to show you how you can take an image, and you may not have a use case for images, but more text, but you can see just based on the job description that I did, based on the blog post, the sky's the limit, whatever you want to do. And you can see this creating. And so here's one here. Again, it's not photorealistic, but it's close as you can get. So now let me just make a change. Can you put a iPad in his hand? And so now it's going to go in and add the iPad to this person's hand. And you can just make continual changes to whatever you want. This is just the same as the text. You can add more prompts to adjust, change, and modify however you want this stuff to work. So now it's a little bit different of a format, but now he's got an iPad in his hand, as you can see there.
That's pretty cool.
So
yeah, I guess, and then you can use these images for whatever you want, I guess, for your website, for a social media post, for a newsletter, for a presentation, you know, and then you don't have to worry about copyright or anything because it just created it with AI, which is kind of nice.
And you could use ChatGPT with Dolly in it to go and actually create your branding, your logo. You may want to use something like Canva or CapCut in order to do your logo or your branding and stuff like that, because it's actually got a little bit more in the prompt sections to be able to delineate that a little bit better than you would maybe by using the prompts that you would use. So let's kind of dive into the next thing. I don't think there's anything else other than, there's one other thing I wanted to show you, because this blew me away, and Matt actually told me about this, and I went, no, I can't do that. And this kind of blew me away. So kind of watch this. We're going to do one more here.
Yeah, and after you make this stuff, you can download it right to your computer and stuff. So it's not just like always in the web and you can't save it anywhere. So, and you can also, you know, after you download it, you can share it to wherever. So it's pretty easy to use, pretty user-friendly, which is.
All right, let me dictate this one in. So we're going to do create a Visual Basic program that creates a Christmas tree with flashing lights. Actually, what I did is I forgot to tell it to write a code instead of the program. It's actually giving you instructions. Oh, so here's the code. Yeah, now it's writing the code. So it's giving instructions, and now it's actually writing the code.
So it'll be with coding too for
exactly
programming and stuff, which is kind
when
of
this just blew me away.
A different application,
So all you would need to do is copy this and then put it into Visual Studio, for an example, and this would render it into an application. But here's the code. This is the actual code that it would write. This just blew me away. So you don't have to be a coder. You can just get the program, the AI, to actually write your code for you. Isn't that bizarre? It just blew me away.
It's the new age, man. It's the way things are going. You know, you just get your computers to do everything for you. You know, pretty soon they'll be brushing your hair and brushing your teeth and you know, turn on my shower, you know, turn on the lights. It'll do everything for you. Yeah. Well, maybe not everything, but but it's cool what it can do. And you don't have to hire a programmer. You can get some stuff yourself within reason, right? Within reason.
So here, it even gives you a summary. Now, the paid version of ChatGPT will give you more stuff. Like, remember, this is a basic template. You'll need to fill in, you know, it gives you some instructions at the end. And you can see here, you know, at the top, it'll actually say, oh yeah, okay, I can do that. And then it will actually have a conversation with you. So you can actually have a conversation and ask it questions and actually have a chat back and forth with this AI.
It can teach you stuff. You can learn things, which is kind of cool.
Oh, for sure.
We had a question from Warren Lee just about, Gary's actually using Ecamm, and that's why he's using this. It has sort of a circle, sort of a zoom in thing. Is this a feature that you have for your Stream Deck, Dad, or is this something that you use for something else?
No. This is an application I got on my computer that I use for kind of highlighting and be able to kind of highlight and show different things. So this is just part of my studio part, I guess. Yeah, and I'm using Stream Deck to do
thing, Warren. So just kind of cool.
Okay.
So it's not with Zoom. It was a question yet.
No, it's not with Zoom. So let's go in. We're going to switch this up here. We're going to kind of close this down because we want to go into where is it? Now, I have to go into Chrome to actually show you this. And it's got a kind of a Christmas motif going on here.
We had another comment talking about different assistants. Jerry Avram was talking about how there's a PI is a great assistant for conversations. They have a lot of different conversation bots that they're working on different things. Yeah. They got the ChatGPT. I think Elon Musk is working on something called Grok,
Yeah.
YOK, I think it's called. And they're all different ones where you can chat and talk to it, and it gives you feedback and different things. Obviously, it depends on the designer who makes it kind of and where they pull the information from. But it's pretty amazing that you can just talk to somebody and it can teach you stuff. And it's just AI, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can use, you can create chat bots and all sorts of different things that you want to use. Again, it's kind of like a blank canvas. What do you want to do? And then I think one of the biggest challenges is, well, I don't know what I want it to do. So this is like kind of creating a job description for a new hire. It's like you got to know what you want it to do, or maybe watch a ton of YouTube videos on AI to get some ideas of how you could use this. For me, in a business perspective, the ChatGPT works really good because I can create content. I want to create text. Maybe I want to create some images. And then I can go in if I want to create a video or I want to create a slide. Here's one with Google Slides. You have to install what's it called, Jared? It's AI Plus.
Yeah, it's an extension for Google Chrome, and it works with Google Slides. It's called AI Plus. And it's a simple extension that you can add to it, and it'll help you make presentations. And Google Slides is sort of like the Google version of PowerPoint,
Right.
which is really neat. But the nice part is if you make anything in Google Slides or with this AI, you can export it to a different format. You can export it to like PowerPoint or something else, so you can show the presentation, which is kind of cool. But this can get you started on a presentation, so you don't.
So basically
with design and layout, which is cool.
Basically what I did is I went new, and then you go to extensions, and then you go to, once you've installed this, you go to Plus AI, and then just go in here to new AI presentation, and it's going to pull this up here in a sec. Now I'm not going to render a whole one because this one takes a little bit of a time to take a couple of minutes to actually render, and you can see it even loading here a little bit. But basically what you do is once this comes up, you can actually, with a general one, do your prompts in here, describe what you want in here in detail, or you can take one of these other ones like training or webinar, and you can see it's already got the prompts in here. So we're not going to do this one. I'm going to go back to slides, and I did one here on virtual desktop environment. And so this one created this whole thing for me, the benefits of virtual desktop and infrastructure, or VDI, and you can see here, it actually did graphics, pictures, content. I haven't adjusted anything in here, and you can see where this has laid it all out for showing cost savings, advantages, cost effects of VDI. Some of the stuff I wasn't even aware of. Energy cost reduction by 25%, support cost savings by 40%, hardware savings by 30%. And VDI is what, we do lots of virtual desktop and infrastructure for our clients. And so this was kind of cool to see these benefits of it. And I would make some adjustments to some of the graphs and stuff in here, but case studies on here, this is amazing. And all I did was just dictate what I wanted in there. So that's another use case for that. Now, one of the other things that we wanted to kind of talk about, Jared, what was that? There's some transcription ones, and this is another one that I think a lot of us could use when we're doing it, like a Teams meeting, or a Google. What's that? What's the Google one? Google
Meet. Yeah,
Google Meet. Thank you.
Their version of Zoom,
or Zoom,
video
Teams.
conferencing.
Yeah, and so there's a bunch of different transcribes. One is called Descript, and it will actually take it from your video. And Descript will actually take your content. If there's any blank spaces where you're kind of just waiting on the conversation or video, it will actually cut that out. It will actually transcribe the document to you. Go to webinar, for an example. When you do a video, when you do a live stream with GoToWebinar, now I don't know GoToMeeting, but GoToWebinar for sure will transcribe the whole video and put it into text, where you can actually take that, and it'll put the time codes in there, and then you can actually take that and use that as a meeting notes or any of that sort of stuff. Do you want to talk a little bit, Jared, about I think it's called Phantom, isn't it called, or what's it called?
Yeah, it's called Fathom. So yeah, they have a bunch
Fathom.
of different transcription ones. It's kind of like AI's blowing up, and so a lot of different companies are trying to get on that wagon and then monetize it, right? They're trying to like do monthly subscriptions and for different things like that. But there are some free ones and some ones that are very inexpensive. One of the ones is called Fathom, and it's called Fathom Video. There's other Fathom applications of Fathom Video, and it's an extension that connects with your Zoom, as well as it connect with Microsoft Teams and has some other connections. But basically, whenever you have a video conference, it kind of the AI version joins you, records the video, and also transcribes it. So it will have all the conversation in the transcription, which is very cool. And then you can also highlight some things in that. For example, you can highlight, let's say if you're a financial advisor, you can highlight sort of a trade instruction. You can highlight that part, and if you click highlight on it, it'll record from the last time they're talking till when they stop talking, for example. So you can get that all recorded, which is pretty neat. You can also, after you're done the meeting, there's an AI part where you can summarize the whole video, and it will summarize it into notes at certain timestamps of when somebody talked. And it also has a links where you can click it to see sort of that clip where it starts in the video, which is really neat. You can then take that video link that you did. Let's say you had a video chat with a client. You can send it off, which is pretty cool, to your client, and they can review it and see what you guys talked about, which is pretty cool. And you can also add action points in it. So let's say you're talking, rather than having a note taker write everything down or an assistant, you can get basically the AI to do this for you. And you can copy those notes, for example, that it has, and then put it into Act or put it into wherever you need to keep notes on, let's say your contacts. And then you have an easy thing to reference to see what you talked about last time in an important video chat, or what do I need to get done before the next meeting with this particular client? Oh, let me just check the notes that I have that AI created from the video. So and it's pretty impressive.
And you've actually did a test run with this, copied the information out of there and pasted it into Act, and we're able to have all of that information right there from those notes. So I think we have lots of financial advisors that we work with, and that might be a really neat thing to add. I did go into Zoom, and they do have some AI transcriptions. When you go into Zoom and you can go into the apps, you can actually add in different AI ones. Now, Fathom wasn't one of the ones in there, but Fathom does work directly in there when you add it in. So you may want to do a little research, but there was a financial advisor that actually was using Fathom, and was kind of bragging about how well he liked using that in his environment. He'd have a Zoom meeting, take the content out, paste it into his CRM system, and then he had all the information there. So from a compliance standpoint, you've got all this information. So for anybody that needs to capture information from these meetings and have it for a compliance standpoint, you have access to all of that information. So let's see. Oh, we got one here. So Warren's saying, I use Evernote to create app agendas and discussion items, and there's a new AI notes button. I was afraid to press it. Yeah, no, some of that stuff you kind of wonder if you want to give it a try, right? Yeah, and I've used Evernote as well, and there's more and more applications that are coming out doing that. Now they usually don't create their own engines; they're going to use some other engines, and there's other ones out besides GPT Chat, but a lot of them are using that because of the resources that are going into GTP Chat or OpenAI in development. So it's taking leaps and bounds. But there are other engines, and some of these people are making their own engines, but it's a lot of work. Anything else, Jared, that we should cover here on AI before we wrap it up? I think we've covered some of the use cases, and if you have any use cases that you're using this for, please throw them in the comments here so we can maybe discuss those. But it's one of those things that you kind of just have to find what is it that I want to make a lot easier for myself? And for me, I had to create some web pages. We created some new products. Like the last one we created was ActView Plus. I needed to create a website or a web page for it. So I used ChatGPT to help me to create the content for it. I gave it the parameters, told it what the actual product does, and it kind of drafted it out. And I made a few adjustments and posted it. How much time did that take me? A ton. I can't even guess how much time. It was a lot of time that I would have spent probably a day drafting out and re-editing. This I probably did within an hour, maybe an hour. And then it's just throwing graphics up and stuff like that. So, find the use case that you could use this for, and then let it rip. Just go for it, because it's going to make a big difference for you in saving time. And think of it kind of like, and we've said this before with the Act CRM software. It's you want to use your CRM software as an assistant, and you want to create a job description for that assistant. What do you want that CRM application to do for you? And AI is the same thing. What do you want AI to do, and where do you want AI? And so we will be looking in the new year of saying, where could we use AI in some of our applications, and some of our add-ons, and we're going to be kind of investigating a little bit of stuff there as it develops and becomes more relevant to our specific use case as well. But I think, like me personally, I don't use slides, PowerPoints anymore. I use what you see on the screen here, and I build everything in my live stream. But for those of you who do PowerPoints and stuff like that, hey, there's another way of creating a bunch of the content ahead of time. And then, you want graphics, you want to create a video, you want to create a thumbnail. Canva is really good for creating, thumbnails for YouTube and other social media platforms. Let it rip. Go for it. Any other comments, Jared, before we wrap?
Yeah, there was an interesting question from Jerry. He was asking about, do you know of anything that Act's working on for integration with AI? I don't know enough about that, if they are. I know a lot of companies are adding different tools, like Warren was talking about Evernote. Even Microsoft Teams has a little thing that you can, a transcription thing that you can add to it. It's a newer feature, but it does everything. It doesn't summarize anything, and it's not as advanced, but a lot of things are adding AI to it. Do you know if Act's doing much with that?
Currently, or maybe it's in development yet. Yeah, we'll be having some more development coming up. We're going to be going into some more beta stuff in the future here. We just finished a beta round, and there was nothing about AI in there. But we personally will be looking at it in the new year. Can't give timelines or what we're going to do, but now that we've kind of dove into it, there are some applications where we may want to use voice commands to be able to do certain things, kind of like we would do with our phone using Siri or the Google equivalent of that on the Android phone, where you can actually dictate and have it do things or do searches or what have you. We may look into messing around a little bit with that and just have some sort of an assistant that would that you could actually talk to your Act software. But again, we need to kind of investigate how that would all work, and what infrastructure we need to kind of pull to do that. But I've seen it actually work with this Jarvis I was mentioning, using Python to code GPT chat to actually work with other applications, and it's pretty brilliant. So I don't think it's going to be that far off in the future that we'll be able to have a conversation with our computer and with our Act CRM and have it do what we want. It's going to be pretty cool. All right. Well, if there's no other questions or comments, thank you guys for spending your time with us. Hopefully, this has spurred some thought of how you could use AI in your business. There are literally tons and tons of applications that you can actually use. I would start by just messing around with GPT chat, the free version. That's where I started, and then kind of started branching from there. And there's so many different ones that have added AI to it, and there's it's kind of a deep dive now to try to find out something that would actually specifically work for you. But that's where personally I would start, because creating content just make it a little bit easier, and then kind of expand and look from there. And then we may do another one, Jared. We may do another one in the new year as it expands and goes deeper, because there are so many people in this space right now. I don't think it's going to slow down. I think it's going to speed up.
No, yeah, I think it's just going to continue to grow, and it's just saving you time, making things more efficient, making things more accurate, and you can basically get AI to do some stuff you would get like a graphic designer to do, or you could do your own social media, or you could get one of your team members to get CapCut or Canva, and then they can run your social media and have high-end posts and videos and creations that they have using the software. So it's all about saving time and making things a little bit easier for you, because that's basically what AI is. You have to tweak it. Like, it's not going to be perfect, but it can get you started and get the bulk going, get the design going, get colors going. You can rewrite stuff, because we got so many things going on in the modern world. If it can save us some time, that's great, because so many things suck up time in business. So as I'm sure all of you know.
And the thing of it is, you could be a solopreneur now and have a team, and that team is called AI.
So, AI.
Yeah. So, and so those who are looking to maybe hire people to help out. Hey, maybe you don't need to hire other people. Now, I know that's not going to fit well for some people, saying, "Oh, you're taking jobs away." But sometimes as a business owner, you got to look for the advantages you can take. Anyways, folks, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. Look forward to next week. We have a live stream we're going to be doing about your Christmas list, and how to set up your Christmas list and use your marketing automation to send out maybe emails, email blasts out to your clients, or other things that you may want to use that list for. We have it booked for Thursday. That may be adjusted to Friday. We have a few things going on that we may have to adjust that, but look forward to an email coming out, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next live stream. All the best, everyone. Thanks, Jared, for your help.